welcome to the Carl Anthony Towns upvote party.
Happy hour.
Everybody gets a free pint if you go to this bar
Shoot
and
him if you got
say,
him.
Carl Anthony Towns cost us the game.
Dude.
No, but
We just got to kick back, kick out. You got it?
Yeah, there
Relax.
we go. I like it. Yes, happy hour.
No overtime for us, baby.
I was kind of worried about overtime, and I won't lie, I was definitely, at points tonight, I was worried about having to put on my clown makeup.
Oh.
So Maddie kept checking in on me to make
I
sure.
love that you make these promises that you just don't have to keep.
Well,
that's how reliable the Wolves are.
I would have kept it. But
have you been keeping that promise to you, that resolution from 2020, like 0.1, 0.2, that you just have to bet against the Wolves in every situation? You'll just make mad bank. When are you coming back to Seattle, my friend?
A lot of questions there. But
if it's just money, just bet against the Wolves.
Exactly. Whenever I move back to Seattle, you better believe every night the Timberwolves play, I am betting against them somehow. Tonight I actually did bet against the Timberwolves in the ways that I can in Minnesota.
You best believe.
I would. How
about that Bees, man? How about that Malik Belize?
Yeah, where was he tonight? What?
Oh,
I mean, like
on the couch, man.
Game. Yeah, and also, obviously, I've been doing a lot of bad talk about Towns in Timberwolves Daily stream. Which, by the way, Timberwolves Daily, that's a hilarious comment. It doesn't show up on the screen, but Timberwolves Daily said Cat was elite tonight. Can't wait to hear y'all praise him tonight. So Cat was like bad tonight, I would say, but honestly, everybody was kind of bad at points tonight. Even the best players that we had, which were probably the big three. But beyond that, there was just nobody. And on top of that, Malik Beasley had a terrible game, and Jaden McDaniels had an even worse game. So, realistically, our bench cost us the game. And, I'm out there talking on Twitter with John Krasinski, apparently, about how Cat cost us the game, which I do think there is truth to. But realistically, if we have a bench, as you've been saying on Twitter, this is a winnable game, and this is a one game if we have a bench.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm checking out the box score, but it's not even of our game. It's the Oklahoma City beating the Brooklyn Nets. That's how interested I was in this game. And, within the context of whatever the fuck you just said that I was half-ass paying attention to, was the humble brag of John Krasinski tweeting directly at you, and you were getting quoted, tweeted, ratioed, knapsacked. I loved it. I love the banter that's been causing, that this team causes and creates. And it's not just a good time, because we're seriously kind of fed up, and we're fans of this team, and we want to see it grow and succeed, but we don't even know what we are. To quote Gerald /Ashwin on the Timberwolves Daily Show, we're 42 games in now. We don't even know what we are.
Yeah.
It's really nice that D'Angelo Russell's coming back, right? If he's back and he's shooting and whatever, it's great to see that. We kind of knew that that's what he was, and he didn't show that all year. So now that he's showing it to us, it's kind of interesting, right? But and then Towns comes in and plays the way he plays. He's producing the points that he is expected to play and expected to produce. But Ant shows up for a half, for a quarter, disappears. We have no consistency. We have no sustainable flow. We are just hoping that shit goes in. We are just hoping that defenses, just don't have a big man to defend the post. We're just hoping that they just are coughing the ball up so that we can get easy transition points. The Memphis Grizzlies are the antithesis of the Timberwolves. They have no ego. They have no one making more than whatever D'Lo. I don't even know if they have anyone making more than fucking Beasley money right now. Probably they do, but I don't care.
Yeah.
And they're playing for each other. As we are fake tough dudes in post-game interviews saying, how about 50? How about 40? How about fake tough accents? They're actually winning games and not making it a fucking carousel in terms of just being comedy. It's
and they had a shambles beginning of the year. They weren't good. They were 14 and 24 at a point, I think, and now they're 28 and I don't even know. And I don't know. They had a really
they're 30 and 14, and Ja Morant went down and or had he was the infection control or whatever for 20 games.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's incredible to see what actually can come out of hard work, discipline, and simple action. What did they do? They did nothing extreme tonight. They played within themselves. They are a fucking fantastic team. I want to root for a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. I can't because I am just stuck in Minnesota.
Yeah. I agree with Jake Arison in chat, says Ashwin spitting. And
Oh, sorry, man.
no, I think he means spitting facts. And
and some nachos for dinner tonight. Sorry.
And JJ Creates has entered the chat and ratioed me already. But I would say that I agree with your statement that like we're halfway through the season, we don't even know who we are. I the only way I'd spin it, and I think you were kind of saying this in a longer way than I'm probably going to say, but you know, I think we know who the Timberwolves are. I think they're a 500-ish team as a team, but individually, each player, you can never expect a certain thing. You can expect Cat to have his numbers. You can expect D'Lo most of the time to have his numbers. Not even really. But, you know, like realistically, the only player that you can 1,000% trust on a nightly basis is Jared Vanderbilt. And he is the only one where you're like, yep, I know what I'm going to get out of him tonight. Towns, you don't know. Honestly, you almost know in the bad ways. You know you're going to get behind the back passes. You're going to get kick out threes. You're going to get offensive fouls in crucial moments. With Ant, you know, you're going to have spurts, like you were saying, like a quarter here too. Like he had the first half and he had 28 points in the first half. And we're like, whoa, this is Ant's game. I was in my head like, oh man, we really just got to have Ant be like the guy on this team and Carl needs to step down. Ant comes out, gets like 2 or 3 points in the second half, you know, and critical turnovers at terrible moments.
Yeah, I mean, we saw both shots go in for him in the second half, and he took like 4 shots in total, and one was like with 2 seconds left in the game, and one was like a 3 to make the game tied at like 94 or something. It was like critical to have someone other than the obvious Towns and D'Lo make shots for us. It was awesome to watch others attempt, but you know, I don't want to see Naz Reid taking the shots he does, turning the ball over as he does. I don't want to see Beasley driving to the fucking rim like he's Jalen Noel and then cough the ball up or, you know, pretend he's something else. And I really don't want to see Patrick Beverley, if he's not on, like shoot 5 or 6 or 7,000 threes.
He just took
like,
so many.
Yeah, like, you know, for as great as Patrick Beverley is to the foundation and the culture of this team, he can easily take us out. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't see greatness from him as you know, like that first half was cool and all that I missed. But like, you know, holding John Morant, you can only hold John Morant for so long because he's excellent. And he didn't even have a great game. Shouldn't that be like a recipe for us to kick their ass?
Exactly.
Like they you know, they may have like outshot us from the free throw line, but they gave us like plenty of opportunities to just take this game from them. They didn't shoot well from 3. They didn't shoot really great from the line. They out hustled us. They out beasted us down low. They had like players that came off the bench and just sparked everything for them. And what are we doing? How are we scouting these players and how are we recruiting these types of players to develop? Why are we developing players that become nothings in the NBA? You know, like I don't know where our energy is going and why we need to kind of like, you know, have these debates of like, okay, well, hold on, slow down. We won 3 games in a row against the Houston Rockets and OKC. We're not making any fucking deals, you know, because we're on the come up now. Oh, we just lost 4 in a row, but hold on, watch that. You know, like those fucking 2 or 3 months ago, we won 5 or 4 in a row. That's why we're not making any moves right now, because we're just so excited about the future of this team. Like, share, subscribe, buy season tickets.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of like, share, subscribe, like the stream if John Konchar put 15 points and 17 rebounds on your favorite team tonight. And make sure you subscribe as well. But
my fantasy team is blowing up. Starting at power forward.
John Konchar, who is like 5'4", just out rebounded the entire Timberwolves team. But I'm catching back up on some chat, and it looks like
some amazing. Oh my God, JJ is back.
JJ's
what up,
back.
Man?
Yes, appreciate it. We also had Wombat. Cat's ego doesn't allow for other players to take over. I have thoughts, and I agree. My thoughts, though, on that is, I mean, if you watch Carl, and I have, unfortunately, just due to my annoyance with him lately, I watch every move that he does, and I'm probably overanalyzing him at this point because of how much the things that he's doing are bothering me, you know. But he gets out rebounded by Vando, he gets frustrated. If Vando comes over the top to get a rebound, he gets angry, you know. And on top of that, he sees Ant take a three, sure. I mean, all of us to some extent, when we see Ant do that like step back three routine that he does 12 times a game, it's a little frustrating, but it's visible on Cat. You can see the frustration, and you just feel the energy coming off of him. That's not okay. And there's even moments like after halftime, Cat was like face to face with Ant, like trying to talk to him or something. Not like mad. It was just like an awkward interaction, and he's just trying to be a leader.
Holding him. Yeah.
It's just not it, And I do think that this is not Towns' team unless he changes significantly, which you guys were talking about in the Timberwolves Daily Show. It's like Cooper said, Towns doesn't learn. Like, Towns, we're in year 7, Everybody on Twitter is ratioing me right now under Johnny K's tweet. But, Ant has been in the game for 1 year. He is literally 1 year. And sure, he has plenty of things to work on. Plenty. Obviously the second half tonight, he goes into the post or the halftime interview, and he says, yeah, I'm trying to put together a full game because last game I only showed up for the fourth quarter. This game I'm trying to make a full game out of it. He comes out immediately in the third quarter, doesn't take any shots. Doesn't. Like you said, he only took 4 shots, or I don't even remember. Not many in the second half. And we needed those Anthony Edwards shots. And it doesn't matter if he's feeling like it or not, but we need them. But he's 20, and he is 1 year in the league. Towns is somebody who's been in the league, and JJ will kind of vouch for this. In Towns' first couple years in the league, he was far better decision maker, far better player in general, I think, than he is now. I think he has all the tools and the capability of being a better player now, but I think something in his mind has changed, and it's frustrating to me. So,
I just think he thinks he's owed something.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny. He hasn't changed in a long time, and we probably say the same goddamn thing every game. Like, even wins and losses, we pretty much have the same commentary. We got to innovate. We got to sound more creative, and we got to go deeper into the stats. However, the stats are the fucking same every game, and Cat is showing us nothing different.
Yeah.
So, we are just on repeat. You can watch our fucking post game of 3 years ago, and it'd be the same goddamn thing, only replace Jared Vanderbilt with some other high energy guy that we're just Corey Brewer or something stupid like that. Man, we love those guys, right? But they just are in and out of the league. They don't do anything. I really enjoy these hustle players on our team, but it's on the Stars to take this team to the next level. We got to beat the fucking Memphis Grizzlies. I don't care what the record is. They're amazingly well-disciplined, well-coached, well-groomed. They're aimed for a culture that we are just striving to at least, wade water in, right? Mm-hmm. But, however, this is a team that's baked in with top-tier talent, top-paid talent, and we are just watching the other team outperform us.
Yeah.
Night in and night out.
Yeah. And Chevy, I haven't seen you in the chat before. I'm sorry if I stole your point. I promise I didn't see that if you typed that before I said it. But yes, Cat always does look angry when somebody takes the rebound from him. And Timberwolves Daily is back in the chat saying very similar. The thing about Towns getting frustrated when Vando grabs rebounds is extremely accurate and never talked about. True. Yeah, he never.
Always.
Never talked about. We got Jelson up in here. We got everybody up in here.
We got everyone. I love it. I miss you all. I'm sorry I'm not as regular as I wish I was.
I know. I'm sorry I'm not as regular as I used to be. But we had a nice mental reset to come back to this loss. And obviously we're here and we're smiling. We're okay.
I had a good time. I had a good time watching this game.
I did, and I thought we were going to be beat way worse than we were.
Yeah.
I was expecting think of it. We just whooped the Grizzlies the last time we played them, given all of the COVID things that they had, and it was like an incomplete team. We beat them by 40 points or something like that. So
I don't remember.
I expected them to have a home game, have everybody healthy. Other than, I guess, Dylan Brooks. But just be like, hey, we're making this game personal, and we're going to, even if this is our 11th win in a row, we are going to make it the worst loss possible. And I did not think that we were ready at all. And we actually, for 3 quarters, fought. We came back. D'Lo made timely buckets at moments where it was kind of like, man, we absolutely need it. And Ant in the first half obviously did that plenty of times.
Wow.
But yeah, that fourth quarter is just a Timberwolves fourth quarter. We fought, maybe we fought more than we usually do, but that doesn't matter. We still lost. So One question I had for you, also, if you're
Mhm.
new here, I see a couple new people showing up in chat as well. If you're new, feel free to like the stream, subscribe. We do this after most Timberwolves games. I won't say all anymore, but
Mhm.
most Timberwolves games. But my question for you and chat is, I think I've asked this to you before, and to chat, and to Timberwolves Daily.
Mhm.
But what is your gauge right now, and what do you feel like for buying, selling, staying the same on
Mhm.
this team going in? We're halfway through the season. We're just under 500. Probably have the second half of the season. We probably should be able to make it up to 500, and we'll still probably make the playoffs this year. But do you think we should be buying aggressively, buying slightly, staying the same, maybe selling a few pieces, or selling the farm or selling everything?
You're giving me multiple choice when it should be fill in the blank. I like that. So I can potentially guess correctly.
Yes.
You know what I really like is getting a CXO. Not worrying about what's on the court, but getting fucking urinal cakes with cat's face on them, right?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
get those towels purring and get those fashion nistas ready at the hem for every desire. Um, I am probably also cutting in and out of my audio slash video. So let's do some real quick reset,
Only video.
resetting live.
Your audio is
Um,
perfect.
I don't know how we can be buyers. We have to trade our top outs assets. We don't have a first round pick that's like notable here. And like we don't have value off the bench. So I don't know how to really improve the roster without selling our top tier assets. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to take a risk and have to rebuild and have nothing to show for like 15 years. Really, like trades can kind of progress 15 years back to see what
Yeah.
this product is, right? We have been so bad for so long. We kind of have to see this team run its course. I'm I'm open for trades. I want to see it be in our favor, and it will probably never be, right? And that's my problem. I don't want to make moves for the sake of making moves just to see if they could work for half a season to maybe sniff LeBron's jockstrap in one game, right? I
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're like
Which we would
there
win,
to
by the way.
stay. I want a Memphis culture right now,
Yeah.
and we're not going to get it for another 10 years. You know, it's like if that's what it is.
Yeah, I think, to answer my own question that I posed to you, I think I am close to you, but I think I'm a little bit more on the buy side. I'm not like some aggressive buy situation where I think we need to go out and get like sell everything to get Ben Simmons or something like that. I'm also not really in the boat of like let's try. Well, so here's my thought, and it's complex. It's not like I have some set in stone like yes, I am so open to Miles Turner or somebody like that. But like it sounds like Indiana wants multiple first round picks for a Miles Turner. And other teams would say, "Oh, of course, you're in the playoffs. If you add Miles Turner for just draft picks, and you don't even have to give up that many players. Why would you not?" But these are Timberwolves draft picks, so these are the only commodity that we really have, other than our main stars. And I'm stuck in a place right now where it's like that sounds good to get another high caliber player like a Miles Turner, who's maybe not like an all star, but like solid, very solid player. Um, to add to this team. Even though I love Vando, I think it would be a great addition to have somebody that could score and still defend. Um, and then if it's either then you're doing it all this year, because if it works this year and you make a deep playoff run, you run it back, do the same thing next year, and see what can happen. But if it doesn't work, then you have to sell everything. If it doesn't work, then you're trading Towns, you're trading probably Miles Turner on like an expiring or whatever. You're trading D'Lo, maybe. You're trading everything to get those draft picks back again from other teams. So there's some risk and some reward possibilities here, but to I guess to answer the question, I'm not 100% sure yet. I guess maybe I'd lean more towards just staying put, though, if it's going to take multiple first round
Sure.
picks.
I mean, we're comfortable. We love the team camaraderie or whatever that they say they are building. But sometimes you need a shock, a jolt, a little bit of a kick, and then the team performs a little bit better than expectations and what they think they see themselves as. Because look, we got new rosters. we got a new roster, we got a new spot, we got a new team member, and no position is safe in the NBA, right? You could be on the move next. So like play for like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Part of me is like recalling back to the LaMarcus Aldridge, Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, Damian Lillard, Portland Trailblazer days, where they were just treading water, not making big moves to improve their roster. And LaMarcus Aldridge had a fucking shit ton of flaws to his game. They could have sold high on him and could have gotten a ton of return and didn't. And not, like I don't want to like dog on them, but like look at them now. Look at what they've had to deal with. They made no changes whatsoever. They went from top tier potential, best guard duo in the league to Anthony Simons is now leading their team, right? And like Damian Lillard is getting season-ending surgery, or pretty much, right? Yeah. So they've had a decade plus and they've done nothing with it. They've had some really fun moments like beating OKC and doing the fucking baby clap, but like that's not enough. And like, is that going to be our future? Like one series in the postseason, right? Are we going to get baby clapped? Yeah. Right? Like, I don't know. And I think it needs to be like seeing kind of like the writing on the wall and selling high. And maybe, unfortunately, I don't want to say these things right now because he's a second-year player. He's just like a third, fourth-year player. But like selling high on the players that are producing for us to see something else that might push us to another level. I'm not going to say trade Ant. I'm not going to say trade Cat because I don't think we're going to get any close to the return that we could get, right? But like, what is a Miles Turner going to do for us for half a season? What is a John Collins going to do for us for half a season if we do get value for, if we do trade assets for him? They're going to be disgruntled. They're in Minnesota. They're not going to get the touches because we have Cat, D'Lo, and Ant, right? So it's like, what are they going to really appreciate about being in a new situation like Minnesota? I don't know. I'm worried about that.
Yeah, I do have a couple hot takes to say off of what you just said, but I do have to give a quick shout out to a new chatter. Brent Ellis says, Grizz fan here, just bopping around YouTube post game. Didn't understand how the Wolves were around 500 after watching the game. But analysis here has been really intriguing to get some context. Entertaining stuff. I appreciate you, Brent. Thanks for stopping by. And also, it sounds like we've got some trade rumors in the chat. Not trade rumors, trade propositions, I guess, in the chat. But, I think this new CXO, I think they are the person that is going to be, what is it? The person, like somebody that
doing Joe Smith deal?
Well, somebody that you put in a position to take the fall. They're the fall guy for a decision to move the team. Because I know, you're not what you were expecting.
No.
Because I think no player is going to be happy in Minnesota. Minnesota is not fun to live in. Especially when it's your job to live in Minnesota and do
What are we talking about?
Hey, I'm just saying, if the team was in almost any other city that was not in the Midwest, somewhere, anywhere from Seattle down to LA, down to Texas, down to Florida, down up to New York, any of those places, players are going to be happy this team is successful. Here, I don't think people care. I don't think anybody's going to care. Nobody's going to want to be here. Like you said, they're going to be disgruntled. They're in Minnesota. So unless there is unreal potential, like a Milwaukee Bucks team with a Giannis who is just undeniably great, people are deniably not great, or whatever I'm trying to say. They're like, we don't have anybody that's Giannis level on our team. So, unless we get a player like that, maybe Ant becomes something like that eventually, but he is not right now. And I do worry about the Tundra tax. I worry about all these things. And I think that CXO is going to realize very quickly that that is the main thing that needs to improve the players in Minnesota.
Everyone loves a challenge, and we're half an hour in. We haven't even sniffed the tier list.
We haven't.
Let's get into that challenge of getting through it.
Jump over to that tier list. Let me pull it up here.
Ant looked incredible in that first half. 13 points in the first quarter, 12 points in the second quarter. Looked like he was poised for like some phenomenal outpour production. Like he was bouncing back from a game, and he just cut himself short. Like he decided to stop really pouring in that effort that he wanted. He felt like he wanted this game. Cat looked like he wanted this game. first half, he was a no-show. What was he doing
Mhm.
all first half until that like last couple minutes of the quarter where he got up to like 5 or 7 points? What was he doing? It was amazing to see him pull up for energy in the third quarter and get us into the game, get us in a small lead here and there, pull us back into the game here and there. It's just incredible to watch the on and off switch of this team.
Yeah.
Like Ant turns it on, turns it off.
Yes.
D'Lo steps up to the plate for half the season, turns it off for the majority of the season, right? Like it's just very uncanny, untrustworthy. I don't know where this team got its confidence from, other than the dog in Beverly, the dog in Vando.
Mm.
They spark a lot of what we get to do in this league. It's run, it's transition, it's defensive prowess, it's rebounding to get second and third and eighth shots, right? It's like those guys are the engine to our team. Why can't our stars take over the games and win the games that they should probably win? This game was not ours to lose. It was ours to take, and we gave it away.
And kind of pivoting to the tier list a little bit more, I don't think we need to talk about any of the bench players. And I agree with what Jelson said. The bench as a whole is Glenn Taylor tier tonight. Our top bench player scored 4 points and had 5 rebounds, and that was Jaden McDaniels, who had a terrible game in almost every way. Naz Reid had 4 points. Malik Beasley had 3 points. Torian Prince had 2 points. Josh Okogie played 3 minutes, didn't do anything. That is terrible. And we had, 85 or some points from our top 3, and then the rest is basically Beverly and Vanderbilt with another, 11 points. So, awful game from the bench. I don't know if there's any bench player that we need to grade above a Glenn Taylor tonight.
No, let's not even grade the bench. Just start doing it as we
I
throw fodder into the wolves, right? Feed them to the wolves as we start talking about the starters.
Yes.
My one little snippet is Malik Beasley. Like, I'm over you. I want you to be over yourself, and just sit on the bench. When you get called up, just say no thanks. Take a cue from Christian Wood and Kevin Porter, and just park yourself in the garage back home.
Yes.
I don't understand what's happening with you. Like, you've lost all confidence. You had nothing but the most potential to be like a future, like MIP, 6th man of the year, sharpshooter galore, record breaking, production, because the teams are going to focus on those 3 players that we're talking and ragging about. And he's going 1 for 7 on a fucking nightly basis. It's stupid.
Pretty crazy.
It's so stupid. Even more reliance on Jalen Noel, which I don't believe in fully, but he's proving himself as the most valuable bench player for the Wolves right now.
I think we're in a very similar place on Jalen Noel. He has not fully gained my trust, but I trust him way more than I did to start the season. So, but anyways, top 5. Let's start with Patrick Beverly. Do you have? We could try the notepad thing tonight instead.
But we can try.
We'll try it for Pat.
Even though I'm dark. Yeah, even though I'm dark mode, I'm still like a white screen. So
that's okay. We'll just have to put our phones up close to the camera. Okay, so first we're doing Patrick Beverly. Chat, get your grades in. Patrick Beverly had 3 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks on 1 of 9 shooting, 0 of 5 from 3, and 3 personal fouls. Okay, are you?
I've written it. I can't erase it because I don't know how.
Okay.
Because I'm a boomer. I'm twice the age of fucking Jelson.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yes, look at that. You wrote.
I'm on 6 or 7 second delay.
No, you got it. It shows up perfectly.
Yeah. Look at that D. There it is.
I think it's a D. I mean, this is a pretty bad game. His shots took away from the team, I think, more than the other parts of his game added. Mm-hmm. I will say he locked up Ja Morant in the first half and even first 3 quarters. Mm-hmm. It was insane. Also, Memphis booing him is hilarious to me because he was on the team for 5 minutes.
He was on the team.
And he even, when he got traded to them for the 5 minutes that he was on the team, he even made a tweet about I'm ready to go grind or whatever, the hashtag that they use, Grind City or whatever. And I was I'm amazed that they're booing him. No, I mean, whatever. He's the opposing team. But anyways, I agree. I think it's a D tonight. And not a good game. Given you got the same effort, but missing that many shots and just continuing to take them. hurt us.
There it is. Continuing to take them. And, maybe you just do it because the offense is giving you the shots.
Yeah.
The defense is letting you take those wide open threes because, Memphis is not dumb, right? They're not going to just let you take open threes wide. Well, because they're not the Timberwolves who allow those players to take shots like that. So, deserved shot taking by Beverly. Unfortunate for Wolves fans worldwide.
Yeah. And one little quick interjection I'll make. Compelling Truth in the chat said that they don't think that Prince or Okogie deserve Glenn Taylor ranking. And honestly, I guess I kind of agree, but at the same time, they played so little that I barely care. I do agree though. I mean, they weren't like so bad. Like Okogie played 3 minutes, and Prince, honestly, lately I haven't hated, but he also is not being he's not being the addition that we need to our bench. He is being a deep player on our bench. He's just not contributing as much as he needs to. Anyways.
Yeah. One comment in chat, Compelling Truth says, we're kind of grading all players, but you know what? We're trying to expedite the show to a 25 or minute less package, and we're like 55 minutes in already. So we might not be grading. We might not be grading all the players on a consistent basis moving forward, but Jaden has done some nice things, but overall, he's a second-year player that still needs 40 pounds to his frame.
Yeah.
So right now, this game doesn't do much wonders in terms of grading him. Beasley's ass. And Beverly D. Moving on to Jared Vanderbilt. I got my letter in. I put in my notice. And are you ready?
I think I am.
4 for 5 from the floor, 8 points, 13 rebounds, 4 of them being offensive, 0 trips to the line, 0 threes. Uncanny for Jared Vanderbilt to be shooting 0 threes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I gave it a B. You gave it a C.
Cool. Yeah.
I give him a B just because, similar to shows that we've talked about in the past, sure, this is kind of in a game that we expect. I mean, 8 points, 13 rebounds. That's what you expect. But there's always that effort level with him. I guess I probably should have put a B- just because he did have 5 fouls tonight. Given a lot of the fouls on Vanderbilt were kind of weird. There was that one where I remember somebody ran into him, and it wasn't even they didn't even really touch. But I'm going to give him the B tonight just because, he gave the effort tonight. He always is getting the rebounds, even over Towns. And also he got hit in the face by Ant, hit in the eye by Ant. So give him a little extra boost.
Yep. That's 2 less from 69, by the way, Wombat. So fuck yeah. I got 2 years of living.
Ashwin is 67.
Okay. My reasoning for C, and it potentially even could be C- D level tier, because we expect this kind of hustle from him.
Mm-hmm.
For every play he is on, there are some plays that he is off and is in the wrong spot and allows the John Konchars of the world to get the rebound and put back. And Brandon Clark outplayed the fuck out of him tonight. And that should not happen. You're a starter. You're glowing up beyond recognition. We don't even know who you are because of 3 years ago, we thought you were a throw-in, right? And Brandon Clark was this guy who was high praise, kind of touted out of high school and college. And then he had this injury and crap, and, had a hell of a year in Gonzaga or whatever. But what the fuck is he, right? And he just completely crushed tonight. Brandon Clark, John Konchar should be nothings next to you, Jared Vanderbilt.
They get superpowers though when they play
Minnesota.
Yeah.
We should recognize who's actually doing the work and the and just box the fuck out of them. Don't do the sky high rebounds, because that works once every 10 possessions. Box the fuck out of the players, ruining your game.
Actually, to your point, one thing I have noticed over the last few games is that he's gone for those sky high rebounds, received them. And then he's falling out of bounds, throws it to the defense, and it's okay, so then it was pointless, sure, that's great effort, but it needs to, similar to the game tonight, great effort at times from most players, but we still lost, so what does it matter? We're over the moral victories. Moral victories are something that a rebuilding team hopes for, and we are a playoff team. So this is a loss, and this just sucks. But
what was it, a career high versus OKC, because OKC sucks, but he had 20 and 20 or something like that, right?
Well, that was against Houston.
Oh, sorry, they're the same fucking team to me. And you could kind of do that because Houston is literally a G League team, and they have egos within themselves that they can't even get out of the hole, right? So they don't know what's going on, and you can get away with games like that, and you could get away with kind of kind of like hedging the pass and kind of being a little bit more aggressive against those other teams like the Memphis Grizzlies. They're going to bait you. They're going to switch you, and they're going to basically make you look stupid. And I mean, for everything that he did amazing tonight, and he's been in the fucking A tier player for us this season. He kind of looked a little dumb out there, like just taken out of his element. I'll say that much.
Well, I've taken him down from a B to a C, so he's in the C category for right now. But yeah, cool. Wombat says maybe our 7-footer could help. Anyways,
yeah, maybe.
Yes,
Let's go, D'Lo.
Let's go, D'Lo. So D'Lo had 29 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 11 of 19 shooting, actually a pretty good efficiency night for him. He also had 6 of 11 shooting from 3, and he fouled out of the game. I didn't even realize that.
That was late in the game, though.
Interesting. And he had a lot of take fouls in the beginning too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, apparently all against like Jaren Jackson or something. It felt like he was just like the last line of defense every fucking time.
Yes.
I got my graded.
I think I have mine too.
Jared O. No, Noel hurt us. Poor bench contribution. Yes, agreed. This has been kind of a theme for the season. All right.
True.
I'm in. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Lock it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gave him a B.
B minus.
Oh, I like that. I really went hard on the bold font there. B for D'Lo. I love him when he's on, and I kind of hate it when he's off and he's chucking.
Yeah.
But he didn't take a shot I didn't really like hate, except for one that turned into a 3 off of an ATO, and that was like kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
And I think we both know what play that is.
Mm-hmm.
And his defense was fine. Like he did what he needed to do. His passing was fine. He was fine. He falls out, but that's expected when a Jared Vanderbilt, like a byproduct of Jared Vanderbilt kind of reaching and like diving for those other things, getting him out of the play, transition shit. D'Lo's there, last line of defense, fouls the dunker, fouls the Jaren Jackson. Cat's not rotating. Cat's not playing the positions as great as he could. He's more on the perimeter side of things, and he's late to rotation. So it's a byproduct of all of that. D'Lo is the consequence. Sometimes it was Jaden McDaniels, and now it's D'Lo. So you got to, take some of the good with the bad. He's done nothing. He did nothing wrong this game, and I really see the future looking bright with D'Lo on our team, but I need other pieces to kind of come in together on the same day as D'Lo shooting the way he did tonight.
Which you could argue that did kind of happen with Anthony Edwards going for 30 and Towns going for 25, but like obviously this was a lot more of an eye test game than a stats game because that was just not the case, But I agree with you. And our nightly Godfrey section of the game. Godfrey says no ice in the veins tonight.
I love it. It's very poetic right there.
Godfrey,
actually, he was kind of shooting well. He was kind of shooting well even in late game situations, and we just kind of went away from what got us there, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got him in B tier for tonight. So next, let's do Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards had a great, phenomenal A1 first half. I'm going to say that before we even grade, but A1 first half. And then a very bad second half. He had 30 points. God, he had 30 points. I swear he had 28 in the first half. So
25.
25, okay. 30 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 9 of 20 shooting, 5 of 11 from 3. He almost did take 12 threes. I was trying to exaggerate earlier, and he actually did take that many. He got to the line a lot tonight. Was getting foul calls in the first and second as well. Only had 2 personal fouls, did have 3 turnovers. Okay. People are getting their grades in for Ant in the chat. Oh, I have to grade mine. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I've been ready.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. C. I'm on 5-second delay. So
okay, I'm on.
Oh, I should look at the Zoom. I should look at the Zoom camera.
True,
That's what I should be doing.
I'm a
Fuck
B.
me. Yeah, look at that. I'm a C, and now I'm back to fucking staccato camera. 1 second.
Staccato camera. Wow, what a great way to determine it.
The C is for consistency, by the way. That's all I care about, is just seeing him throughout the entire game have an impact, have a presence, have a steal, have a block, have a rebound, do an awesome play, get a 3, do something, score 6 points a quarter. You can fucking do that, right? You did it, but you did it in 2 quarters. So I just want to see your game persist throughout the entire timeline of the game, have everyone react to you and not chuck for chucking's sake. But honestly, man, like, he's a phenomenal player. He can't do any wrong because he's year 2 out of 7,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, year 7, I'll get mad.
Yeah.
Year 2, I can't really get mad. He's not losing the game for us.
No, and he's getting better. He is getting
He's
better.
getting better.
It's just maybe not as I want it to be so rapid. I want him to suddenly become this, like, the NBA can't look away from Anthony Edwards type of player. And it's not where we are yet. I mean, we're close to that. Obviously, he's 10th in All-Star voting, so like that's saying something, and that's not Minnesotans only getting him there. That's
that's the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, that's right.
The Golden State Warriors getting him there. But I think there is like something to be said about Edwards being better, but he's just not fully there, which is fine. He's in year 2. And maybe my grade of a B tonight maybe is a little high, and it's definitely based more off of the first half of the game, because the first half was just, I mean, he was just hitting rainbow threes with people on him or people not near him. And, he's driving to the basket at time, even being aggressive. He's got these crazy finishes for layups, like under the basket, that are just like elite level. But like I was complaining about earlier, at halftime, he has the interview with Katie Storm and is like, yeah, I'm going to try to make this a full game, because I only did it in the fourth quarter last time. And so far I've done it for the first half, but I have to do it the whole game. Comes out, scores 5 points or 2 points or whatever in the second half. Like, that is not good enough. That is not good enough. And if we have an Ant in the second quarter or second half, we probably win this game, and we don't. So, my B, I think I'm willing to come down to C tonight, just because I think that we need more out of Ant in the second half, regardless of how good the first half was. I do think that C probably is a little bit more of a fair one.
Stand firm on your decisions, man. I respect the B as well, because he did most of his damage on offense, and we needed production out of someone other than the Cat and D'Lo show, and it was great to see. And we are slowly beginning to accept that he is a walking bucket when he wants to be, but he finds himself within the offense needing to defer and watching and waiting and basically saying, it's your turn, not my turn, now my turn, not your turn, kind of thing. And it's probably a byproduct of just the fucking egos that he has to deal with and contend with, because in college it was his show. In high school, he's the best athlete in the country, right? Like, now he has to deal with Cat, D'Lo, and others, right? And Beasley wants his shots and others, and he just needs to deal with that, cope with that, and find himself within all of this, like all of these variables taking over the game. There can't be like multiple Donovan Mitchells in the league, right? There can't be multiple Dwayne Wade like players in the league, but he could model his game after them and be a downhill player, and that could lead into some amazing offensive opportunities for others. Like the pick and roll that we developed over the COVID string, where we lost our key starters, where Nasri got involved, then Vando got involved, then like Greg Monroe got involved and showed us the way. He carved the way. Like, seeing that, and then like seeing it on display 1 or twice a game, that sucks.
Yeah.
Run the plays that get you the best fucking chance at scoring every possession, and that's you going downhill. That's you creating contact. We saw that in the first half. We saw 0 of that in the second half.
Yeah, no, I agree. And something I think Gerald said in the chat, please, Reggie Miller, spend the offseason with Ant and teach him how to move off the ball. Not to talk, I'm gonna go kind of off script here, but like, one thing that I was thinking about recently watching the Golden State Warriors, also speaking of All-Star voting, Andrew Wiggins is 3rd in All-Star voting for what, forwards or something like that in the West. I can't remember. And also to Godfrey's point of like, I don't expect, like, Ant's not the guy making $30 million a year, so I don't expect him to take over the end of the game. That is true, and maybe that should be my expectation, but obviously like Ant is so talented that I do expect it. His talent has made me start to expect it. And my totally random interjection that has absolutely no flow to our conversation is I think Andre Iguodala is a great player to be playing with Wiggins, because I think Wiggins is he is not going to be making max money after whatever his max contract is up. And I think that Andre Iguodala was a star when he played for the 76ers, right? And he was like that up and coming like talent. And then he kind of started taking those backseat roles for like the Warriors, and I feel like there was another team that he maybe played for. Maybe I'm totally making that up, but
he played for the Heat.
The Heat, yeah. And did he actually play for the Heat or was he on the bench the whole time?
I
But
don't
like
remember.
I think that will be a great mentor for Wiggins as he figures out that he's not a top player. Not that he doesn't already know that, but
We got a ton of tax hit. We got Antoine Walker for a couple of years. We got Ricky Davis for a couple of years. We got, Brandon Rush from the Warriors fame
true.
for a couple of years.
And
Like,
Brandon Roy.
and Josh Howard. We got
And
all them stars. Even
uh,
Lance Stevenson.
that's true. Man, I want Lance back though. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was fun. He's
Anyways,
good for a game.
yeah, my interjection is over. And we are on to the star of the show.
Oh, so you're saying we need a vet. We need a Torian Prince. We need Torian Prince back. Is that's basically what you're saying?
I am saying that conversation had absolutely nothing to do with the Timberwolves.
Oh,
I was not kidding when I
you
said
just
that.
had
Totally,
it. You just had it on your mind.
it was just on my mind.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are on to Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody, get your grades in for Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, I guess that includes us. He played the most minutes tonight. He had 25 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, 2 blocks. He was 11 of 17 shooting.
Yeah.
4 personal fouls, 4 turnovers. All right.
Were those personal fouls also turnovers? Do they count double or whatever?
Yeah, seriously, because they were that bad.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
I think I'm ready too, and I think people are going to be surprised by my grade, but I think I'm ready. All right.
Oh my god, it's going to be A1, isn't it?
No,
3,
no.
2, 1.
Oh, okay.
C.
Never
You got
mind.
a D?
I
didn't even change it. I was that lazy. I just kept the same. It's out of laziness, man.
Yeah.
He's not coming to play on a consistent basis. I'm just going to keep my phone at a C.
Yeah, I would say that this, to me, I mean, in the same ways that we argue that, like, oh, Vando has the same energy and effort, and same with Pat Bev every time, so does that make them a C? Honestly, Towns has such bad decision making at times that it's becoming expected, and it's almost raising him up from a D to a C, because guess what? This is exactly the game that I expect from Karl Anthony Towns now. But should it be the game that I expect from Karl Anthony Towns? No. Absolutely not. This is a game, and obviously I'm not going to go off of stats. I'm not going to go out here and say like, oh yeah, since Towns didn't have 35 points, it's a D. That's not what we're talking about. It is 100% decision making, 100% attitude, 100% mindset. It is off with Towns. He is losing this team games, and I do sure, the bench is definitely more to blame than really any of the starters tonight. The bench didn't come to play. The bench didn't play a lot, but also you need your bench to contribute in any way, which they just did not tonight. But this was a winnable game where Towns, sure, John Krasinski, I'm going to keep dropping it in hints, but John Krasinski tweeted back at me after, I mean, semi-joking, was like, Towns lost us the game, to be honest, which is, I do believe that, I do believe that Towns somewhat lost us the game, but he says something to the effect of like, Towns is the only one keeping us in it in the fourth quarter. What a joke, honestly. What a joke of a comment to say that. Sure, yeah, he was scoring in the fourth. And sure, he made a couple plays, but how many boneheaded turnovers and personal fouls does he commit? He kicks out on the 3 at a crucial moment. Not only does he miss that shot, he kicks out and costs us a possession that we could have gotten that ball back. You never know.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, Karl is such a big part of why this team is not above 500, and I think tonight was just a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Push comes to shove. Who do you fucking think about when you think about the Timberwolves?
Yeah.
It's not fucking Malik Beasley going 1 for 8.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a scapegoat. So this year it's fucking, it's not Jeff Teague this year. It's Malik Beasley. It's not like Jamal Crawford chucking us out of games. It's Beasley, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, no, it's actually Cat this whole time. It's been Cat this whole fucking time.
Yeah.
I am always enraged watching him play. There are moments of brilliance, of exceptional all-stardom GOAT type player, but that's followed up with laziness, half-ass effort, blaming others, making demonstrative gestures, the kickouts, the elbows to faces, and obvious, blatant offensive fouls. Yeah, the hand grenade passes to Taurean Prince with 3 seconds left of the shot clock. Multiple times. Like, just absolute dud play. And you were so spot on about the mental, like, acuity is there for a play every 10, right? For 2 plays every 30. Like, it's just there. And then when he takes those threes, why does he do the step back three? Oh, because it's the step back is trending on Twitter, right? You know, it's like, why make it so much harder for you? There were some plays in the second half, especially because he got 18 in the second half, so you can't do everything poorly for the full game. But when he was just driving to the rim and he got that, like, you know, awesome, like, kind of hook shot, he had this, like, and one hook shot type of thing. He, like, wanted the and one or whatever. He had that, like, quick 3 in transition. Come on, more of that. Less of the ball, like Al Jefferson, you know, black hole gravity crap.
Yeah.
Less of the theatrics, and just do what we've been asking. Literally, me asking, pleading, praying. Eat, pray, love.
Live, love,
eat, pray, town. Eat, pray, towns. Just fucking chill out. Slow the game down for you and you alone, and make the simple play. Make the simple shot. Take 25 shots a game. We have been pleading for you to do this.
God, I know.
And it's just not happening. 3 shots in the first half. You are our $30 million man, and you don't do it.
Just like Godfrey's saying, like, this is the player that we expect to be making these shots and taking these shots. You know, like, he is shooting insane efficiency numbers this season. Shoot more. Shoot so much more. He had 17 shots. We want double. I mean, like, I'd be okay if he shot 30 plus times a game, you know, just because of how efficient he is. Sure, that takes people, like, I mean, obviously, like, we're kind of exaggerating here, but like that is more of what I want than him picking and choosing these, like, very select moments and then passing hand grenades to Taurean Prince 3 times in the fourth quarter. Like, we need an efficient top player that is high volume too, you know, and maybe he's, you know, I don't know. It's just a tricky situation with him because it's hard to argue against him because he gets the numbers that you always want, and then, you know, he goes into the post games, and I was just trying to look for the post games a second ago to see if we could maybe pull up his quotes from what he's saying tonight, because I'm very curious to know what he says after he's talked about pigs and everything else last night or whatever. But, you know, it's just, I'm sick of these performances. I'm sick of complaining about this. And the thing that I think needs to happen in the Timberwolves fan base is we as fans need to have higher expectations for our top player. People are out there trying to, like, ratio us on Twitter saying, like, oh, Cat is so good and yada, yada, yada. Sure, Cat is a great player. We have never said that Cat is not a good player. In fact, the reason we are so upset is because we know Towns can be such a good player. But we need to have higher expectations. We can't just look at the stat line and be like, oh, 25 and 9 out of 11 and 17 shooting. Fantastic. Great job. Here's another max contract for you. That's not how it is. And I'm not saying that he's not a max player. I'm just saying, like, he is losing us games from the decision making he is having. So I would much rather have him have a 10 and 5 game where every play that he made was just, like, you know, fantastic passes, or, like, you know, like the perfectly timed shots, or just, like, effort rebounds. Like, if that's what it is, I don't care. That's what we expect. And instead, it's become a vanity thing for him. He needs the press. Like the press that he's talking about in the last time. Like, he doesn't want to have, we can't get too built up by the press. He is the one being built up by the press and taking the bait. Even though there is no bait, he is just taking that and letting it go to his head.
Yeah, maybe he reads Chucky Anthony on Twitter or something like that. I'm just curious. That's probably someone he reads on, follows, and subscribes to. Yes. I love what you said there. I think there's so much to take and glean off of, and kind of, like, you know, relay this on repeat to Cat. He needs to be humbled, and he had 1 free throw attempt as a big man who plays in the post at times. 1 free throw attempt. You know, Xavier Tillman played fucking 10 minutes to your 100 and got more free throw attempts than you. I don't like that one bit. I don't understand how you could take your game purely as a, you know, a shooting expectation and, like, getting the production and, like, making the rest foul you. You have to fucking earn it. Mm-hmm. Nothing is given. I don't get it. I don't get it from him. And well, our team can only go as far as he takes us at this moment. It could be not his team in the future, but right now, like, he's showing he can't lead this team, but he's trying. He's desperately trying to make the attention on him fall on him, and well, he has to then back it up on the court, and he hasn't been. He's not been consistent. This is the fucking like mantra of this fucking team is consistency, effort, like play within yourself, and just build a system, a foundation that will grow and sustain itself, not a Hail Mary play here or there.
Yes. And, honestly, Godfrey kind of brings up a good point in the chat. He says, Towns and Cousins are the same. Good enough with the stats to deflect criticism, but not good enough to be real superstars.
Yeah.
Honestly, and guess what else they have in common? Kentucky. And Anthony Davis. Kentucky.
Ooh. And Jared Vanderbilt.
We'll give Jared Vanderbilt a pass. But, I think there is a trend of, obviously high quality, good players come out of Kentucky, but I do think that there is a little bit of a trend there that's interesting. And they're all very similar players where, obviously AD, he's hurt right now. He's still hurt, right? He is not playing, I don't think. I could be
He's
wrong.
not playing right now.
But obviously the Lakers fans are kind of turning against him, but he was on a not so good Pelicans team and he gets those stats. So of course he's viewed as a superstar and he's a kind of a freak. But he is now in a real situation where it really matters and the pressure's on. I honestly think that AD is probably better. I don't know. That's a tricky conversation, but I think those three players have a lot in common, and I think that's an interesting trait. But anyways, but yeah. So there's our show. I can't believe we finished under an hour or at an hour.
We still got 2 minutes to go, man.
We still do. Did you have any final closing thoughts before we take on the Golden State Warriors, who now have Clay back, and the third votes received in Andrew Wiggins?
I couldn't be more excited about a game than the Golden State Warriors. I either want to get demolished and humbled and fucking I can't wait for the post game, or I want to take it to their throat. And I would prefer the latter, of course. But I'm really, really excited about this game because, yeah, we are expecting a 500 level season. My hand is not shaking like it was in the Jimmy Butler years.
Yes.
I'm just here for the ride. I'm kind of enjoying this season more than most, I will say. All this negativity is because I'm critical and I have a critical lens. I'm enjoying some of the shit that I'm seeing, right? I'm excited for the break. I'm excited for the All-Star weekend if it does or doesn't happen. I don't understand what's going on there. But this team needs to go into that break strong. We have a half of a season left. We don't know what our identity is. We don't know what our offense really can become and curtail into. We are just really heavily relying on kind of playing like gods, right? Not playing within a system, not creating a culture for winning, but creating wins out of thin air, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just want to see something that procures into a future that I can kind of ride behind, because we came into this year thinking we were going to be Blazers, where we're going to be all offense, no defense. We had a really fun, strong showing where we were all defense, no offense, and we were just winning by the fucking 10 toes down on the ground, on the court. Now we're something that we don't know again. And yeah, maybe it takes a beating by the Grizzlies to really humble us. Maybe it takes a fucking loss to the Dallas Mavericks and the whoever's we play against. Mm-hmm. It's just, this game is going to tell us so much about our team on Sunday. Are we going to fucking show up? Are we going to be on fucking, I don't know if we're going to be on NBA TV or ESPN or 10-second delay Bally Sports North or whatever. But, this game is going to tell us so much, because you know what? Golden State's at full health now.
They are.
So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry if I cut you off there.
No, I was just agreeing. And I totally agree. I think tonight, not that you ever hope for a loss, but there was moments tonight where I was like, we need to be humbled tonight, because I do think that Sunday is a greater gauge of where we are as a team. If we can show up Sunday, even if, honestly, I'm not even talking win or loss. I'm talking what product we put out on the court. What does it look like? Like you were saying in the early seasons, we did expect this to be an offensive team with no defense. Guess what? We had an exciting defense in the beginning of the year. Exciting. That has very slowly kind of waned away now. And not to say that we aren't a good defensive team anymore, but it is not the same as what it was in the first 10, 15, or however many games it went. But I'm very excited for that game as well. It's Sunday night. It doesn't look like there's any designation for national TV, but I don't really care about that. I guess that the players definitely think about that. Apparently, in Cat's interview, he said something about NBA TV or something. I can't remember, but I am very excited to see that game because I do think that we are capable of beating any team when we are on, and that means offensively and defensively and bench. We need everybody to be on, but it'll be interesting. I'm very excited, and this is a no excuses game against a team like the. I mean, both teams are healthy fully, so this will be interesting. This will be fun. So I'm really excited. It's 7 o'clock on Sunday. I guess I am planning on doing a show after the game.
Yeah, if you do, I'll be here.
Sounds good. Perfect. Well, cool. I appreciate you guys all for stopping by.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Daily's still here. I know you guys are amazing. We have 10 viewers still at this point, which is insane. We're past the hour point. So I appreciate
that means you dedicated like 5 hours out of your day to like Timberwolves ish stuff.
And it's many of you probably stopped by Timberwolves Daily before this. So this is like insane. You know, you're stopping by Timberwolves Daily. You're probably listening to like podcasts like, you know, probably like Dane Moore, John Krasinski, C&D show, you know, all these different places. Like, it's crazy, but we appreciate it. We don't deserve it, but we appreciate it. So anyways, we will be back Sunday night after hopefully an exciting game. I won't say a win or a loss. Hopefully an exciting game. So
good game.
Yeah, I'm ready for a good game. And it would be great to get a game closer to 500 again, and maybe get on that train again. But anyways, I appreciate it, you all. We will see you Sunday night. Intro as the outro, as tradition.
Peace.
Good night.